Alright, boys. Another day, another content from AniNews. We had a little break in between, a little break, you know what I'm saying? Nothing too crazy, like a couple episodes, There wasn't really, I don't think he's like really doing like actual episode content now. He's just doing the good old fights. I think he's like putting them, I think he's just like doing like all the fights, like the fight combinations of all the episodes and doing them into a content video. So yeah, man. Today we got Priscilla versus the Archbishop of Wrath. Let's see.
Priscilla vs. Wrath has got to be one of the more unique showdowns in ReZero.
Yeah.
Where we do usually get a strong clash of ideals like this, never have the two opponents been so incompatible. Like, here we have Priscilla, whose sense of self makes her immune to Wrath's.
By the way, I keep calling her Priscilla, but it's because like I hear the characters say Priscilla. Is Priscilla the correct, or can I call her Priscilla? I've been calling her Priscilla like the entire time, huh? Cause like I low-key hear like people like in the anime like say Priscilla, so like I say Priscilla, but like say people say Priscilla, so I don't know if like that's correct, but hey man, she did this was a very unique type of showdown for sure. What if you like it the same? Probably gonna keep calling her Priscilla. I'm just so used to it at this point.
Sense of self makes her immune to Wrath's authority, while Wrath on the other hand sees her as a trial that must be overcome in order to see her husband.
Yep, literally, bro. I think the craziest part of this showdown is the fact that like, bro, Priscilla literally like counters it. She's literally the fucking counter, bro. And I don't know if it was it. I mean, y'all can let me know if this was debunked. Was it like, is it actually true that it's just because she's stubborn? She's like stubborn. We also saw that her heart is closed in that one episode, right? Her heart is very closed, and like very like I guess you could call it like narcissistic, right, or egotistical, or whatever you want to call her, right? Is it because of that? Because like if that's the case, then like that's fucking wild. But that's the only thing I can really think of, right? She's like really like immune to wrath because of that fucking aspect. So yeah, more complicated than that. Is it spoilers? Backstory stuff, got it. We'll see that shit in like season 5. Yo, season 5, season 6, bruh. She has no care for other NPCs. Alright, let's see.
Priscilla, whose sense of self makes her immune to Wrath's authority, while Wrath on the other hand sees her as a trial that must be overcome in order to see her husband. Neither will flinch when it comes to the mindset they've established for themselves, and in a way that makes their interactions entertainingly absurd. I mean, for a good bit, you probably couldn't even call it interacting. It was just two very assertive people talking at each other. Liliana's place in this was also a bit more than what we saw in the anime, so if you want to see the full extent of this showdown with Princess and Songstress, stick around since this'll be everything left out from the anime.
I bet.
To start things off.
Also, yes, y'all know how they did it Emilia backstory? Like, I know Emilia's like the main girl, right? Like, I know she's like the main focus, right? Like Subaru and Emilia, but like, I think it would be so fire if they did a Priscilla backstory. Hey, they did a Priscilla backstory in OVA, right? OVA, that's what I'm talking about, right? Because they did an Emilia OVA Frozen Bonds, right? I think that'd be fucking fire. But I don't know if they would actually fucking do it because it's like Priscilla. It's not like Emilia, you know what I mean? So I don't know if they would actually do that, but I think that'd be cool as fuck. I would watch that. I would watch that shit 100%, man.
Full extent of this showdown with Princess and Songstress. Stick around since this'll be everything left out from the anime. To start things off here at the plaza in front of the control tower, Priscilla's real objective was never to defeat the Archbishop. It was instead simply to reclaim the floodgates. Should that happen without having to confront Wrath at all, then Liliana was happy to complete the mission without a life-threatening battle. Well, Sirius's debut would shatter any hopes of that,
literally
charming Liliana in the process with her authority. There was, however, a question Liliana would ask prior to that, and that was whether Kiritaka was okay or not. Since someone was preemptively killing members of the council, Liliana wanted to know if Kiritaka had survived. It was a question to which Sirius would respond yes, since she too needed Kiritaka alive as well. She referred to him as the final member of the council, indicating the others had been killed by whoever was hunting them.
GG's. 07. GG's, bro. So it's literally just Kiritaka, man. Just, I mean, it was pretty much confirmed, right? I already kind of had an idea, but it's like, damn, it's really just It's really just said here, huh?
So, with him being the only one left, Sirius would confirm that he was taken into protective custody. She would then pull out the gospel in a scene that we didn't get to see in the anime, identifying it as the means with which they were able to save Kiritaka.
Oh.
You see, had it not been for the gospel's prophetic words, then Kiritaka would have been killed with the rest of the council. This admiration towards the gospel placed Liliana more under the effects of Sirius's authority, leading to the kiss which would dispel it.
I see.
Now, part of what makes the ensuing conversation so interesting is that every person participating had an incredibly strong ego. That being the case, they all insisted on monopolizing the dialogue in a way that made conversation pointless. Priscilla's hostility barely interacted with Sirius's indignation, while Liliana's gibberish stood far off on its own.
Dude, yeah, this is... the interactions between them were so fucking funny, I'm not gonna lie. It was literally just like... Bro, it was just a back and forth of doom and despair, bro. Like, it was... Because Priscilla, we know how Priscilla is, and then fucking Raph over here just fucking yapping about fucking love and shit. It's like, damn, bro, like...
Liliana would then confirm one more time the safety of Kiritaka, then Sirius would call forth the civilians still under the power of her authority. It was a group of 1,000, all unified as one, moving in perfect unison towards the princess and songstress. This should have been where Liliana stepped in to prove her worth, but while still in disarray from the events going on around her, Priscilla would have to step in instead. She would leverage the urges of basic human instinct. It didn't matter how brainwashed everyone was. A human's primal fear of fire wouldn't allow them to walk right into one.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I kind of already figured that too. Like, obviously, like, even if they're controlled, right? So, even if they're controlled and they have, like, the red eyes and they're under the authority, the power of the authority, they still have those senses of, like, oh my god, if I walk in that shit, I'm getting Lily burnt to a fucking crisp.
So, Priscilla would then relentlessly mock the idea becoming one was a form of love, since to her, she was a living example disproving it. As a person exemplifying the most outstanding figure in the world, she truly believed her magnificence could never be joined with those who were just mediocre. It was a harsh yet firm statement that denied everything Sirius believed in. A bold provocation Liliana couldn't help but think was a bit heavy-handed. Sirius, however, took this as a challenge, accepting Priscilla simply as an anomaly who needed to be shown the power of love.
Anomaly.
Now, in the meantime, Liliana would rush towards the fiery barrier separating her and the people, only to be overwhelmed by how hot it was. The thing about this fire, though, is that although it maintained its heat, it didn't actually burn her. So, while this white flame was significantly hotter than a normal fire, it couldn't burn her or even leave a mark. The only thing she felt was the pain from how hot it was. Naturally, this prevented her from singing to the best of her ability, and that was a problem Priscilla was very much aware of. Sirius wouldn't give her time to find a solution though, since her omnidirectional assault kept her very much occupied. Defending against it wasn't really that much of a problem, but helping Liliana in the process was where things started to get tough. Liliana's encouragement did enhance her momentum though, so that in turn made navigating the chains a whole lot easier. It was an epic clash between elegance and ferocity, where
elegance and ferocity, okay?
Priscilla's sword dance was this graceful display of movement. Sirius's performance was more this fierce mishmash of incomprehensible motions. To anyone skilled with such a weapon though, it was clearly technique developed through years of rigorous training. So, it was evident by the effort being put in that this battle was important to her as well. Not only was Priscilla fighting for something important herself, Sirius too fought to prove that no matter the heart, there always remained the possibility of change. To her, so long as you were alive, feelings could grow. Obviously, not much progress was being made on conveying that, which is why she would proceed to name drop the stories we saw in the anime.
So pretty much, she was like, yo, this shit ain't working. Yo, this shit ain't working. Like, this shit's not gonna work, so you know what? I'm gonna just start name dropping shit that triggers you. Literally just resorted to rage baiting. Bro, she literally just started resorting to rage bait. Like, what are we fucking... what are we talking about, man?
This instantly got under Priscilla's skin, leading her to charge head-on without regard for anything else. Like, it didn't matter that killing Sirius would have killed every other person present, since in this moment, Priscilla just wanted to kill her.
Can you imagine So, like, what would have happened? Like, what the fuck? See, like, what the fuck do we do in this situation? Priscilla crashes the fuck out. Everyone's under the fucking authority, the power of authority. She kills Raph and it's fucking GG's. Everyone fucking dies. Like, you know, yeah, I'm glad that didn't happen, but like, that was fucking crazy, bro. That would have been fucking horrible, dude.
Her desire was solely that, and it didn't matter who else would have been lost in the process, Liliana included. Now, this attack would have cut Sirius's head clean off, if not for a phenomenon that shouldn't have been possible. You see, right before Priscilla was about to strike, her momentum had slowed completely. It was as if time itself had turned against her.
What?
This was a common trope Liliana recognized as time seeming to move slowly just before death, except here it was happening to only Priscilla. So it was this sudden change in speed that allowed Sirius to casually counter with the attack we saw here.
Oh.
As for what it was that triggered Priscilla, the names mentioned were all famous stories from the past. Not a single one Liliana hadn't heard herself, and she'd even earned her keep performing some of them. Why is it then that Priscilla would get so mad at such well-renowned tales? Well, that's an answer we won't find out until next season.
Damn. Damn. Like, damn. Bro, I really want to know, man. I think Priscilla's backstory would be fucking heat, bro. I think that'd be so good, bro. But like, hey, man, I guess we'll find out eventually, hopefully. Yeah, why? Just why, bro? Like, okay. Let me move this down a little bit. Give me a sec here. Okay. Alright. We're good. Let's go.
We do, however, discover the logic Sirius herself abides by, and that's all built off a foundation of mutual understanding. You see, she was a firm believer that by sharing the experiences of others, only then could one start to love one another. To her, it was the human ability to feel empathy and sympathy that made all this possible.
Okay.
And while it did make sense on paper, the level she took it to was far too extreme.
You think?
This, however,
Jesus.
was logical enough to convince others, so unless you had an unbending sense of self like Priscilla's, Sirius's tempting words would go on to affect anyone who could hear them. Now, the reason Liliana found this so ridiculous is because, as a person with the unique ability to hear all the voices around her at once, she knew there could be an infinite variety of similar voices while none exactly the same. The same could be said for emotions too, so after seeing the state of the people around her, she knew from experience that what Sirius was saying was wrong. Like, sure, everyone in a crowd could be smiling, but that didn't mean that they were all feeling the exact same thing.
Correct.
It was this manufactured equality that Liliana found disgusting, leading her to prove her point with her music. Such a rejection had come off as quite a shock, since it wasn't a strong sense of self enabling it this time. No, where Liliana's passion came from was her pride as a minstrel. Her understanding of others was what allowed her to overcome Sirius's authority too now.
The understanding of others, the understanding of emotions, and she was able to literally overcome the effects and everything about fucking Sirius, bro. Damn, bro. I gotta give Liliana her flowers, bro. I gotta give her her flowers, man. I mean, I've been giving her flowers, but like, damn, she definitely came in clutch, bro. She definitely clutched up, man. The main thing that I really wanted her to do this episode was literally that. The one thing I really wanted her to do was literally clutch up. Yeah, depth of individuality. Yep. Like, honestly, I think that Liliana, bro. I think her character's good. I think she's a good character, man. I think she's fine, bro. I guess a lot of people are still like thinking about the web novel version. I think people are still thinking about the web novel version. So, nah, man. I think anime version, at least from what I've seen, bro. I think she's fine, man. I think they did a very good job, man. I think she clutched that, man.
This led Sirius to engage with a more intense offense than before, forcing Priscilla to take a more defensive approach. Once again, this wasn't because she was weaker though, but was rather because she couldn't do anything to attack. If she did, and she certainly could, Priscilla was well aware of the massacre that would come as a result of
everyone dying.
That being the case, what we saw here was simply Priscilla stalling. She had placed complete trust in Liliana's ability to dispel Sirius's authority and was simply waiting for it to happen.
Exactly. The whole thing, right? the trust in Liliana. Priscilla was like, okay, I'm just gonna stall and just play defense. Okay? I need you to lock in, get yourself sorted out, get everyone out of that fucking authority, bro. Just like snap everyone out of it. And once everyone is for sure safe and out of the power, that's what she could go all out and just like, and that's probably why she went all out at the very end there and just went fucking crazy. And she pretty much beat Raph easily, which is crazy, right? Because I guess like at first, I thought that she was actually struggling. Like maybe it looked like a little rough, but like it was just mainly defense, right? It was mainly defense, just stalling for Liliana to be able to actually like get what she has to do done. Because obviously, everyone would have fucking died. Okay, if she would have done that shit in the beginning and killed Raph in the beginning, everyone dying. Like that's fucking horrible. Yeah. She literally placed her complete trust in her, so, yeah.
First, Liliana needed to ascend the tower, though, and this, I promise, was far more difficult than you may think. Like, imagine running through the flames of a burning building, minus any of the permanent damage to you. You can still feel every bit of the heat, but it's just you don't get burned or injured from it.
That's horrible.
So, imagine the feeling of getting burned without it actually happening, then...
The feeling of getting burned without it actually happening. Bro, damn. I mean, yeah. I mean, in the anime, I guess like if you really put it like that, like if you really go like into detail of like what really happened in the scene. In the anime, she kind of like struggled a little bit, but she did just go up the stairs like pretty easily, right? Like I think it was like pretty easy. But...
Injured from it.
Yeah.
So imagine the feeling of getting burned without it actually happening, then imagine experiencing it relentlessly multiple floors up the tower.
Yikes, yeah.
This was the pain Liliana had to fight through, and it would continue for the duration of her song as well. As unbearable as it was, though, she knew she needed to follow through with her job before succumbing to it.
Yeah, locking in.
Now, this is where we get to Liliana's life story, which for the most part was depicted accurately. An important aspect I believe needs to be explained a bit more, though, is the realization that her identity wasn't what she thought it was. You see, the heroes she thought were her friends in the stories she sang about were actually nothing more than strangers completely unrelated to her. Sure, Liliana could love them all she wanted, but at the end of the day, they could never love her back. This led her to feel incredibly worthless, and it made her question why she was even doing what she did in the first place.
That's fucked up.
It was after 4 days of overcoming sickness consisting of every ailment imaginable that finally Liliana would gain inspiration of her own. Her 9-year journey on the road had led her to this. She had finally come to understand how to create true music.
Did he say 9 year?
Of her own. Her 9-year journey on the road had led her to this. She had finally come to understand how to create true music. Everything she sang before was something else entirely, but this right here was something she could call her own. It was a gift and a send-off to the heroes she once thought of as irreplaceable friends. From here, she would rediscover what singing these pieces meant, and in the process commit to creating the relationship she wanted with those she could actually call her friends. Her dream, while still to be the minstrel queen, also now included bragging about how amazing her actual friends were.
Man.
That was a massive turning point for her back then, and her song here on top of the building was a turning point for her now. The way she felt singing here was the same as when she sang for the first time as a true minstrel. The pain from the flames certainly made her want to cry out in agony, but knowing so many people were waiting to hear her voice helped her to push through regardless.
She was going through all that fucking pain. She was going through all of that, and she was still able to get over that and sing her heart out. You know what, man? I gotta give her props, man. That was, wow. Yeah, W fucking Liliana, man.
Now, normally Liliana's song wouldn't have been able to reach anyone, but what awakened during this pivotal moment was her blessing of telepathy.
Yeah, the blessing of telepathy.
Until now, it was nothing but a simple boon, but here it transformed into the true power it was meant to be.
Right, it was a boon, and then it like really just like the full potential, the full power of it just started to like actually fucking happen. And that's why we saw like the whole crazy green aura there.
As the novel describes it, it was a divine manifestation of musical powers supported by her true strength as a singer. A heavenly gift birthed from her resolve to lay everything on the line here. This wasn't something Liliana was aware of herself, but it was exactly what was taking place while she was singing. Despite the building burning hot enough to cook a steak all the way through, Liliana's burning feet were of no concern when it came to the song she was singing.
Yeah.
It was a display of dedication that demonstrated her worth beyond just mere amusement. Priscilla understood Liliana was going through torture only a fool would endure, but her choice to remain up there was proof a fool with talent could still bring about the impossible.
Yes.
They were efforts she knew needed to be rewarded.
W.
As for what was happening with Sirius, well, Liliana's song was something of the same essence of her authority, except the way it brought people together was fundamentally different. Her song allowed people to understand each other through a different means. This meant her blessing was on par with Wrath's authority, and if strong enough to overcome Sirius herself, the effects of it would channel through her authority and spread to every person across the city.
Shit.
That was the true nature of Liliana's music now. Sirius's true nature would be revealed shortly after as well, since in a fit of rage she would release all the bandages covering her body.
Whoa! This illustration. Yo, this is... Brother, what the fuck?
All the bandages covering her body.
Yeah,
What hid
the
underneath
detail.
were the golden chains wrapped around her torso and limbs, flesh and blood oozing from the parts they clinged onto. This allowed her to unleash the full potential of her weapons, but at the same time came at the cost of her skin being peeled, flesh being shredded, and bones being ground away.
Ugh.
The blood would then be turned into fuel for her own flames, creating this massive tsunami of fire that should have turned Priscilla into cinders. This would have been the outcome for anyone, but Priscilla possessed her sunlight blade. All it took was the single swing of this legendary magical sword to dispel the fire. This, however, was just a distraction, and before Sirius could even see the result of her attack, she was already running straight to the tower, intent on tearing it down. Priscilla would catch up to her before she could, but a surprise attack from another chain hidden under the bandages of Sirius's leg landed a direct hit, stopping Priscilla in her tracks.
Okay.
Once again, no damage was done, but the opening it made gave Sirius enough time to topple the tower like how we saw in the anime. It was a move which should have put an end to Liliana's song right there and then, if not for her resolve to see things through fully.
W resolve,
So, as
yeah.
the floor crumbled beneath her, Liliana continued singing, knowing that the moment she stopped, Wrath's authority would take full control again. Priscilla knew as much as well, and that led her to focus on Sirius rather than save Liliana here. That being the case, what came as a result was the final clash between two people whose system of values were utterly incompatible. Since both were built upon a flawless and unshakable foundation, that left zero room for one to sway the other. So the only thing left to do after was fight. Priscilla couldn't even care for the trivial problem that was Tina, and proceeded with her attack since she could simply not cut something that she didn't wish to cut.
The trivial problem that is Tina. Yo, bro, that's true though. Like, Tina really just got spawned in. Like, she just keeps getting spawned in just for the sake of the fucking heroes to like not kill the kid and all that. But the good thing is that with her sword she could choose what to cut. So W fucking Yang sword. I'm not gonna lie, without the sword is fucking GG's. Like, holy shit, dude. Like, what do you even do there?
There was fight.
Like, even clutch.
Priscilla couldn't even care for the trivial problem that was Tina, and proceeded with her attack since she could simply not cut something that she didn't wish to cut. It was an ability that suited the person she was perfectly, one that disregarded any and everything she didn't care about. So, that would conclude the battle with Wrath, bringing an end to what would have been a very one-sided battle had Wrath's authority not made things difficult.
Wow.
But yeah, that's one more fight down from ReZero Season 3, and I'll be continuing with the others next week. If you liked this one,
that's GG's. That's it. It's over. Wow. Okay. That is it for the fight, man. Priscilla versus Wrath, bro. Priscilla and Liliana, man. They came in clutch. They both did their thing, man. That duo, they did what their purpose. They did it, bro. They fulfilled it, man. They both clutched up and they were able to beat Wrath, bro. That's fucking peak. The fucking civilians didn't die either. So, yeah, man. Overall good, bro. Also a very good fight. So, guess now next episode gonna be Regulus and upcoming also 8-Arm Kurgan and all the other fights that we have not seen yet. So yeah, man, that's gonna be it for today's cut content from AniNews. Thank you so much once again, AniNews, for the cut content. If y'all enjoyed and you're new, subscribe. Leave a like down below. The full uncut version to all ReZero content will be on Patreon. As always, have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time. See you guys.